Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new week, and that means it's a brand new opportunity for you to do something amazing, and it all begins today. Even though it's a holiday for a lot of you guys, important things are going on. I don't want you guys to miss out. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Monday. We have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with Dr. Teresa A. Smith, or Dr. Teresa Smith, if you guys are following us here on Instagram, discussing the year that's been 2022. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In national news, the Associated Press says, from one July 4th to the next, a steep slide for Biden. Last 4th of July, President Joe Biden gathered hundreds of people outside the White House for an event that would have been unthinkable for many Americans the previous year. With the coronavirus in retreat, they ate hamburgers and watched fireworks over the National Mall. Although the pandemic wasn't over yet, Biden said, we're closer than ever to declaring our independence from a deadly virus. Across the country, indoor masking requirements were falling as the number of infections and deaths plummeted. Within weeks, even some of the president's allies privately admitted that the speech had been premature. Soon the administration would learn that the Delta variant could be transmitted by people who had already been vaccinated. Masks went back on, then came polarizing vaccination mandates. The even more contagious Omicron variant would arrive months later, infecting millions and causing chaos during the holiday season. We were hoping to be free of the virus, and the virus had a lot more in store for us, said the Vice Dean of Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. The number of people in the United States who died from COVID-19 nearly doubled from 605,000 to more than 1 million over the last year. As Biden approaches his second 4th of July in the White House, his standing couldn't be more different. A series of miscalculations and unforeseen challenges have Biden struggling for footing as he faces a potentially damaging verdict from voters in the coming midterm elections. Even problems that weren't Biden's fault have been fueled by Republican efforts to retake control of Congress, as the Associated Press. The pandemic's resurgence was swiftly followed last summer by the debacle of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan when the Taliban seized control of the country faster than the administration expected as the U.S.-backed regime collapsed. Then negotiations over Biden's broader domestic agenda stalled, only to collapse altogether in December. The Russian invasion of Ukraine in late February caused a worldwide spike in gas prices, exacerbated inflation that reached a 40-year high. Another blow came last month and curtailed the Environmental Protection Agency's ability to regulate greenhouse gas emissions. Suddenly a reactive president, Biden has been left trying to reclaim the initiative at every step, often with mixed results, says the Associated Press. The coronavirus is less of a threat than before, and infections are far less likely to lead to death, but Congress is refusing to supply more money to deal with the pandemic. In more national news, police in Akron say a man shot was unarmed, but officers feared he would fire. A black man was unarmed when Akron police chased him on foot and killed him in a hail of bullets, but officers believed he had shot at them earlier from a vehicle and feared he was preparing to fire again, authorities said. Akron police released video Sunday of the pursuit and the killing of Jalen Walker, 25. The mayor called the shooting heartbreaking while pleading for peace and patience from the community. It was not yet clear how many shots were fired by the 8 officers who were involved in the shooting, but Walker sustained more than 60 wounds. An attorney for Walker's family said Walker was on the ground while officers continued to fire. Demonstrators marched through the city and gathered in front of the Akron Justice Center after the video was released. NAACP President Derek Johnson said in a statement that Walker's death was murder point blank. Officers attempted to stop Walker's car early Monday for unspecified traffic and equipment violations, but less than a minute into a pursuit, the sound of a shot was heard from the car, and a transportation department camera captured what appeared to be a muzzle flash coming from the vehicle, Akron Police Chief said. That changed the nature of the case from a routine traffic stop to now a public safety issue, he said. In more national news, feds say R. Kelly remains on suicide watch for his own safety. Federal authorities are pushing back on R. Kelly's claims that he was placed on suicide watch as a form of punishment last week after a judge sentenced him to 30 years behind bars for using his fame to sexually abuse young girls. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn filed court papers late Saturday saying the disgraced R&B superstar remains on suicide watch for his own safety following a psychological assessment. In business news, Wall Street closed higher on Friday but still ended the week in the red. Stocks on Wall Street shook off a downbeat start and ended broadly higher Friday, though the rebound was not enough to erase their losses for the week. The S&P 500 rose 1.1% after having been down 0.9% in the early going. And finally, in entertainment news, Minions set box office on fire with $109 million debut. Families went bananas for Minions this weekend at the box office. Minions: The Rise of Gru brought in an estimated $109 million in ticket sales from 4,391 screens in North America, Universal Pictures said on Sunday. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Your life is not a failure. Your future is still ahead. The ending you want is still possible, and your best days can still be ahead. Have an amazing Monday. Dr. Teresa A. Smith is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight right here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Dr. Teresa A. Smith or Dr. Taj join me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the year that's been 2022 and also what's to come. Here's a bit of our conversation. What has it been like for you to look at your own transformation just this year, Todd?
You know, Cyrus, thank you for the question, and thank you so much for working with me during the book series. It has been a whirlwind. You know, over the last week or two, I've been really reflecting on just where I was at the beginning of 2022 and where I am now. And, you know, we're 6 months in, and so much has happened. You know, last year this time we were preparing to publish the book, and then we started our series. And you knew, of course, that I had a show that I'd been working on. But then to come full circle a year later and see that the show is actually out there, I'm getting good feedback on the show. I'm cooking live on Instagram, which is just mind-boggling for me. So it's really been a good year, and it's been a fast year.
Yeah, it really has been a fast year. I mean, we both have had a lot going on. And do you find yourself having those moments, too, where you look at where we are in the year, but also thinking, where did it go? You know, what's been going on?
Well, you know, Cyrus, you know, as you said, full disclosure, I can't say other people, but I know for me, you're so focused on doing the work that I have to remind myself to stop and smell the roses. And when I think back, it's like, well, where did it go? And how did you even get to this place? Because as you and I often talk about putting the work in, you'll see the fruits of your labor, but it's like a blur, and it's like, yeah. I didn't see it. But then you find yourself at that spot, and then it's like, okay, now how do I adjust again?
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. Prepare to get on tomorrow's more news, a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.